Dear quiet black girl, this is not a how to fix your shyness video. I just hope that you really hear me out in what I'm about to say. So as a quiet black girl, people see you and they think that you're stuck up, they find you intimidating, they think that you're slow, they have all sorts of assumptions that they make about you in their head, and there's this insane narrative about who you are which prevents you from actually existing in your fullness and the way you're meant to be. Like, for example, I'll never forget when I first started working for a company, I was in a meeting with these two people. They were quite senior, and when I first meet people, sometimes I can be really guarded. So like, I think a lot of people know me as being extroverted, but to be honest, I do like to shut up every now and then. And I'm also quite introverted sometimes when I meet people and it's a very unfamiliar space, very unfamiliar scene, then I tend to keep to myself quite a lot. So I'm in this meeting with these two senior people, and one of them kind of like just goes like, "Speak, say something," and he's talking to me. And I was like taken aback by this because A, it made me realise that people are probably talking about the fact that I don't really have much to say because I don't see the point in speaking without having anything to say. And B, he didn't really see that like that is not the way to make someone who is quiet speak. I didn't say anything in response, by the way. I just kind of like smiled, really. Oh no, actually, that's a lie. I literally smiled and said like, I don't have anything to say. Because why would I say something if I don't have anything to say? But yeah, so I mean, people really try to take you and put you into this box, and they're very bothered by you being quiet. But I've also just seen alternative situations where you could literally be in a room or in a discussion, and then people may like prompt you and push you to speak, and then the moment you do speak, somebody else is already prepared to speak over you. And I just think that situations like that especially happen to black women quite often when they're quiet, and I basically just want to stress to you that that's nothing to take personally. It's more so just a reflection of them and what people do when they don't understand something. They basically just try to narrate who you are so that they can feel more comfortable in themselves. And I also want to make it very clear that I'm not telling you to get loud and be boisterous and be who you aren't if that's not who you want to be, because that's also just performing for them and fitting into the narrative that they want you to create. And it's ultimately just performing for people who have already made up their mind about you. And I want to stress that you don't owe anyone a version of yourself to be taken seriously, but I instead encourage you to take up space in a manner that fits you and who you are perfectly. And that might mean just saying no instead of a full sentence. It might be saying one sentence instead of 10, but ultimately it's showing up as who you are and who you want to be authentically without having to actually cater to people who are insecure or just bothered by the fact that you're comfortable in who you are yourself. Because there's a huge freedom in not needing people to perceive you correctly, and also a freedom in just being who you are and not managing everyone's reactions to you, which I think black people, especially black women, get in a habit of doing quite often and frequently to be able to make people around us comfortable when we might be uncomfortable ourselves. But what I have found is that the second that you stop needing people to get you right, you get a lot of your energy back, because you're not wasting it translating yourself for people that weren't trying to understand you in the first place anyway. And honestly, it's never been your job to try and correct people or cater to people that are dedicated to misunderstanding you, whether that's friends, family, work people and colleagues, whoever it is. You do not have to cater to them. And the main reason that I say this is because the moment that you actually hand that over to people and you try to cater to them with your personality that doesn't really match who you actually are, then you're basically handing the power over to them that you should be holding for yourself. And the main thing is, you don't actually need an accurate audience perception. You just need to be able to have an accurate assessment of who you are yourself and know who you are and what you're grounded in and what you believe. Because how do you see you? Like, I'm sure other people have called you quiet, other people have said this, that, and the third about you, and you clicked on this video, so I'm assuming it applies to you if you're not just watching to support me. So yeah, I mean, reflect on who it is that you actually see yourself as being. Are you the quiet girl? Is that the title that you want to hold for yourself, or have people pushed you into that? Because if it isn't who you want to be, then you do have the power to change it. So dear quiet black girl, you are never too much, too little, too shy, too stuck up, to anything. And whoever you're becoming, whether quiet or loud or somewhere in between, just make sure that it's actually yours. I'll see you next time. Bye.